At the Martha mine, gold and silver are recovered from rock mined in an open pit. The rock is sampled to determine the gold and silver content of the quartz. It's then loosened with small explosive charges before a geologist maps it into ore and waste, each to be mined separately. 12 hours a day, large off-road trucks carry their loads up out of the pit to the primary crusher. Each truckload of ore helps to produce well over $1.6 million worth of precious metals mined from the pit each week. This is returned to the local and national economies through wages, salaries, and payment for goods and services. The newly mined rock passes through the primary crusher and onto the conveyor. The conveyor alternates between carrying ore and waste rock. It transports the material across the outskirts of the town, under 2 roads, and by tunnel through Union Hill. The ore is stockpiled, then transported by another short conveyor to the treatment plant, where it is crushed and milled to extract the gold. A sag mill and a ball mill are used to grind the ore. As the huge barrel rotates, it is continuously filled with ore, lime, water, and hardened steel balls. The tumbling action grinds down the ore to produce a fine slurry. This slurry passes through a smaller ball mill, which grinds down the ore even further until it is as fine as talcum powder. Precious metals dissolved in the leach tanks are collected on the surface of activated carbon. The gold and silver are then stripped from the loaded carbon. This solution is further processed by electrowinning. It is now ready for the furnace. The smelting furnace heats the gold and silver concentrate to a temperature of 1200 degrees Celsius. The pour is the final stage of the process. Waste rock has a longer trip on the conveyor to a loading station where large dump trucks are ready to transport it to its final destination, as construction material for the waste rock embankment. As each level of the embankment is completed, it is layered with subsoil, then topsoil, and sown with grass. Currently, the embankment is returned to productive pasture, which features pockets of native trees and shrubs. Extensive land use trials continue to be carried out. When mining operations end, wetlands will be established, rehabilitation will be completed, and the land will be returned to productive and sustainable use. Tailings from the treatment plant are piped to the tailings storage facility. Tailings are a slurry of 70% liquid and 30% fine solids, and include low levels of cyanide remaining from the gold recovery process. The solids in the tailings settle and consolidate. The water is drawn off and recycled to the process plant. In the tailings pond, the cyanide is broken down by the ultraviolet light and sunlight to naturally occurring carbon and nitrogen. Excess water is piped to the water treatment plant. Any remaining cyanide is treated prior to the water being discharged. An extensive system of underdrains returns any seepage from the tailings and waste rock embankment to the water treatment plant. Excess water is treated to comply with the conditions set by Environment Waikato and then discharged into the Yohinemuri River. Regular sampling, environmental monitoring, and tight operational controls ensure an acceptable quality of water discharge. As well as the extensive monitoring program carried out by the company, independent monitoring and analysis of results are carried out both by the regional and district councils. At the Martha Mine, baseline environmental monitoring, initiated several years prior to mining starting, identified potential environmental and social effects. This monitoring and management program continues to be an integral part of the overall mine management plan, ensuring that the operation meets with the conditions of the mining licence, the water rights and the resource consents issued under the Resource Management Act.